it's Sav here. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to make my cheddar cheesy bacon scones. I made about 100 of these scones for both of my kids' open house and they were all the rave. I had a ton of parents and friends asking me for the recipe and I told them you're gonna have to wait. I haven't posted the recipe yet. So today I'm finally going to share that recipe with you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick video. Keep watching and I'll show you guys what you'll need to do. I have my stand mixer here fitted with my dough hook attachment. In my bowl here I have 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 2 teaspoons of sugar. I'm going to dump all of this into my mixer. I am also going to add in 2.5 teaspoons of really good baking powder. It's really important to use a good brand. I'm using Rumford here. It gives a really nice rise and doesn't have this nasty metallic-y taste to it. Now for my secret ingredient, I'm going to use 1/2 teaspoon of ground mustard powder. You know, I figured I put ground mustard powder in my mac and cheese. Why not add it to my cheesy scones? And you know what? It really brought out the cheesy flavor. I turned my mixer on to stir and then guess what? I realized that I forgot an ingredient. You know, lately I've been forgetting a lot of things lately. That's another story. So I turned off my mixer and then I added in 1 tablespoon of dried onion. I'm going to turn my mixer right back on and just stir until it's all combined. It shouldn't take too long. And then I'm going to turn off my mixer and cut in some softened butter. I've read countless blogs and forums and everyone says to use cold butter for scones, but you know what? I did that a couple of times and it wasn't the right texture for me, and I started doing softened butter and it gave me the perfect texture that I love. I should note that this is 6 tablespoons of softened butter. I'm turning the mixer back on again. Now when I incorporate the butter in, I do turn up the speed a bit more, probably up to speed 4 on my mixer instead of stir. When your mixture is nice and crumbly, you want to turn it off and add in your cheese. I have equal parts Asiago and extra sharp cheddar, 4 ounces of each. It's really important to use a really sharp cheese because if you don't, then the cheese taste kind of disappears and you don't taste it at all. And now I'm adding in 1/3 cup of bacon bits. I know that sounds weird and odd. Why didn't she use real bacon? Well, guess what? I've used real bacon before and it just ends up tasting kind of tough and hard and just salty, so I don't like to use it. Bacon bits works better in my opinion, or you can even sub for ham. After you've added in your cheeses and your bacon bits, you just need to mix this until combined. With my mixer still running, I'm going to add in 1 cup of heavy cream. You're going to ask, well, can I use buttermilk? Well, you can, but I've tried both ways and I just prefer the crumb and the texture that the heavy cream gives me. So you just want to keep this running until everything becomes one big ball of dough. You want the dough to still remain slightly moist. You don't want it too dry. Turn your mixer off. Now the secret to good scones is you don't want to spend too much time on the dough. Don't want to overwork it at all. So you want to dump your dough onto a lightly floured surface. See, my mixture here looks a little too dry for my taste, so I'm going to slightly flatten it out. Right down the middle, I'm going to create a little crater and add in about a tablespoon more of heavy cream. That didn't look like a tablespoon, but I did end up adding a little bit more later. Now my dough looks perfect. I'm just going to take my hand and score it right down the middle, dividing the dough in half, and I'm going to take the first one and make a flat circular 1-inch disc. Repeat with the other one. Cover each disc in a piece of saran wrap nice and tight and then place them into the fridge for at least 1 hour. Alright, so it's been about an hour, probably a little more. My dough is nice and chilled. Now all that's left is to just shape it. So I'm going to take this disc and cut it in half, and then I'm going to cut it again into thirds. These will give you some pretty nice sized scones. I usually prefer to make them mini, which all you have to do to get mini scones is instead of shaping out 2 discs out of the dough, you shape out 3. Place your shaped scones onto a baking sheet fitted with some parchment paper. Now I prefer to use Silpat. I usually use that, but because not everyone has that, I went ahead and used parchment paper for the video. Finally, all that's left is to hit it with some egg wash. This is 1 egg mixed with some water. For best results, I like to do a double egg wash. So hit it all with some egg wash, let it sit for 10 to 15 minutes, and hit it once more before they go straight into the oven. 400 degrees for about 17 minutes for larger scones like this. If you do the mini ones, they will be done in about 12 to 15 minutes tops. Now we are finished. Look at the scones. The tops are nicely browned. It's nice and thick and fluffy. Now you know when the scones are done when they easily lift up off of the parchment paper or the Silpat. And you know when they're done when the bottoms of the scones are slightly golden brown, just like this. Beautiful. Got my scone in hand. I'm ready to put it in my mouth. I prefer bacon bits, but if you like to give it a go, you can go ahead and try, real bacon. You can try ham. That's totally up to you. You guys are going to love this recipe. It's perfectly cheesy, has a little bacony taste to it, and it's light. It is totally moist, and you guys are going to love this one. Thanks for watching. Bye.